Oh yeah, sexy biscuits. Nice.
Long boys blues, 1975. Using girls on the rise. Reviewing games late at night and sometimes friends. But Long boys blues, 1975.
Hey YouTube, Longboys Post 1975, and welcome to a completely impromptu, completely off-the-cuff, unplanned, nostalgic memories of video. Now, I completely and utterly forgot that this was a thing, and that these were also a thing around about the release date of another thing, all of which bring me great levels of nostalgia. Nostalgic memories of Tazos, specifically Star Wars Tazos. Now, I'm pretty sure anyone of my age, at least from the United Kingdom, I honestly don't know. Honestly don't know if this was a thing everywhere or this was, just a thing in the United Kingdom. I mean, the internet was around at this point. It was early days, but, social media wasn't the mover and shaker it is now. So I don't recall seeing or anyone talking about it from other places. Granted, like I said, social media wasn't a thing then. I don't even know why I would have looked to have seen it. But yeah, don't know if Tazos were a thing everywhere, but just a thing in the United Kingdom. What is a Tazo? Now, I don't want to pop any of them out of this before we start talking about this, so I'll show you a picture. So there we go. Basically, a Tazo is a circular disc or piece of plastic with a number of slots in, so you could basically join them like that. And so the next ones would be like that, and so forth and so on, and build shapes. Why you would want to build shapes with them, I don't know. But they were basically the licensed sort of franchises of numerous things. This one that I'm going to show you, which brings back this massive amount of nostalgia, particularly for these items, is Star Wars. But there was everything. Name a TV show at the time, it was on Tazos. Cartoons, Warner Bros, stuff like that. It was on Tazos. Now, I don't know if you could buy them in packs or something. I honestly can't remember that, because my main memory of getting Tazos, and not just Star Wars ones, but all these ones, was they constantly showed up either on the front of magazines, or comics I should say, comics in a little bag stuck to the front as a free gift, or in various bags of crisps, basically by Walkers. But now, was there a game? Is it like Top Trumps? Is it when you used to throw them down or something? I don't know. Was it even like marbles or something where you used to win them off each other, or just a trading game? I can't remember, because what I remember them being a kind of big deal, but mainly because they were free on the front of stuff and in bags of crisps. It was Star Wars Tazos that myself and all my mates went mental for. So yeah, this is 1997, so I was 22. But the other great thing about this was, and the reason this was released, was the special editions of the Star Wars trilogy, because it was so long ago. It was the then 20th anniversary of episode 4. So Lucas cleaned them up. I mean, a few years prior, we got the first proper remastered versions on VHS. I still have that set. But yeah, cleaned them up and added new footage. Now, while it's considered generally that the footage is now awful and crap, before it was tweaked and improved for the special editions, and now generally most people don't want new footage, because the original trilogy was so fantastic. And we also want a completely dicked around remastered Blu-ray version, or 4K, but we don't want all the new added footage. It was a big deal for two reasons back then, because Star Wars had just sort of got back into... See, Star Wars fell out of vogue for years, seriously. Kind of oversaturated after, the release of the movies, and then constantly be on at Christmas and bank holidays. And it kind of fell out of vogue for a bit until the Star Wars Power of the Force toys that kicked in 95, round about the time of the first proper remastered VHS box set release. So yeah, but then obviously when it hit 20 years and Lucas was gearing up for all this stuff and things like that, it became a big deal again. But see, because we could see it, and this is how they marketed it, we could see it again on the big screen. Now, I was too young. I only saw Return of the Jedi on the big screen as a kid, and I remember the time it was for a friend's birthday party. So I was 8 in 1983, and I remember being really, as was my twin brother, really, really disappointed, because we'd already seen it on pirate video a week before. My dad got it on Betamax from a bloke at the pub, where you would, allegedly, you would get videos like that, pirate videos from in those days. I honestly don't know, but I do remember it being brilliant quality. Well, I remember, nostalgic goggles on and shit like that. But we watched the crap out of it. But that's a different story that I've talked about before. It was like, getting to see these again properly, and I saw all of them. They released within 3 weeks of each other, like 1, 2, 3, like that, and I saw them all. I still have my ticket stubs somewhere. If I was a little bit more planned, or pre-planned, I would have bought them in. But anyway, we're drifting off topic slightly. So I saw them all, and we were really hyped for new footage. Empire worked the best for new footage. The Star Wars inclusion of that crap awful Jabba the Hutt. I mean, it's awful even when it was tweaked for proper special effects in the 2004 DVD release, but it was awful. And changing the music at the end of Jedi was just bloody criminal. But that aside, it was a big deal. So Tazos became Walkers, who they're PepsiCo now, which is why the Lay's and Walker's logo is essentially the same, with the name being different because PepsiCo owns them both. Crisps in the United Kingdom, in case you're not from the United Kingdom. So they would put them in a bag, but then they released this. Now, I can't remember if I think you may have had to buy this at a newsagent. I don't think it was mail away, but... So we got this, and essentially it was right about the release of the movies, and it was basically, well, there you go, there's a logo of the re-release of the movies, but it's a collector's edition to promote the films, and obviously Star Wars was a big deal again, particularly for those of us who, enjoyed it the first time around, I should say. And so we were all over this. There were 50 Tazos from the movie. And like I said, I showed you a picture because I don't want to push out the ones in this book. But it's a really, really, really nice book. I can't see a price on the back. Anyway, I'm jumping ahead. I'll show you the cover. So there's the cover. Tazos, Collector's Force Pack. Join the celebration back on the big screen. And then on the back, it breaks it down into the 3 movies. This is strong with nostalgia. And they said, this force pack contains 11 inserts, or pieces of card, with pictures on them, to hold all 50 Star Wars Tazos, plastic ID force card, instant win scratch sheet, Star Wars trivia quiz, and Star Wars character information. So this may have been mail order then, but anyway, look at it. So you've got a list of the main characters on the inside. It's really nice and glossy. I cannot believe I completely forgot about this. And basically, look, I haven't even scratched, and that's the power of the Force reissue figures, when the figures came back properly for the first time in 1995. Look, I haven't even scratched them. Not because I was too old to play with toys, but because I didn't, it was a collector's set, so you get to see the Millennium Falcon. And now you get to see what it is. And it's basically 3 movies, and they tell very quickly, very light detail, the story of the movies. And here you can see it. So you can see the Tazo, hopefully, inserted into a circular gap. You would do it from behind, into these various pictures, and obviously it will break down the movie. If you see the back, you could see, there you go. That's what the Tazos look like. They're circular and they're numbered, and it's so you can insert them into this. But yeah, it's such a nice sort of, it's not massively in detail or anything like that, but quality-wise, it's a little bent. I guess it's been stored in a damp condition. It was in one of my boxes in the storage room. But yeah, I mean, this is just amazing. And then obviously we've done Star Wars, we're on to Empire, and then it goes through that. So nice. Oh, man. But here's the thing, and why I have, and all my mates, because the thing is, I was 22 when this came out, so I obviously, would I say a bit too old for it? Well, no, it's Star Wars. I mean, it's clearly aimed at, this was clearly a nostalgia thing, and obviously, who's ever too old for crisps? I love crisps, as you probably know if you follow me on social media. But, yeah, so this was a big deal. But it was collecting the 3, because I've never completed anything. I think I completed a Panini Football 87 sticker album once back in the day, because it came free with a copy of the Sun newspaper, and you got a bunch of stickers. But obviously this is far less than that. That was in the hundreds. This is in, well, it's 50. But then obviously you've got breakdowns. Oh, and the special trilogy collector Tazo. And here's the thing. It lists all of them to help you collect it. And on the back, it shows you the crisps that you could collect them in bags. It wasn't single bags and multi-packs. I think in a multi-pack of 6 bags, you got 1 disc or 1 Tazo. Was it maybe 3? I'm not sure. I'm really struggling to remember it, hence the fact that I completely forgot this. But any bag you bought, like they're called snack bags now, aren't they, or grab bags, but any bag you bought at a newsagent or supermarket that was an individual sold bag, so it's slightly bigger than the ones in multi-bags, would give you a Tazo. The whole idea being, like I said, I think it was a game, like Trump or something like that, or Slam Decks or something. Yeah, you would trade them with people at school anyway, so just read out to you in case you missed it. Came in Walker's Walkers, you know, like their standard bags of crisps, some of it in a prawn cocktail, Worcestershire sauce and stuff like that. Doritos, French fries, Monster Ones, and Quavers. Like I said, this is such a nice. I'm pretty sure these are really, really, really common, but I've never. I remember seeing loads of them at the time, and loads of them completed at the time, but I've never seen one since, or many years, or even a few years afterwards. But yeah, so they would come in those bags of crisps and you would collect, and the idea being you would trade them with other kids at school. Unfortunately, I was in full-time employment at this, and so one or two people in the office, dependent on, yeah, I had an office job then, may have them, but this was a really small office job, so it was literally 5 people and only 2 other people munched on crisps like me. So it made your trading options very, very limited. That's not to say it didn't happen, but it did. But constantly, because I don't know if some were rarer than others, I'm guessing they weren't in this. I guess they were equal across the board. Again, I honestly don't know. I mean, if you remember anything about this and how you played the game and trading them and whether some were rarer than others, please let me know in the comment section down below. But yeah, trading with my twin brother, my older brother, happened now and then, but they weren't crisp monsters like me. I mean, I am a crisp monster now, but I was a crisp monster back then as well. I've been consistent, I should say, as a crisp monster. But trading them, yeah, was really, really difficult. And I remember I got down to about 10, and I ate more crisps. I'm surprised I didn't, become a fat bastard. I ate more crisps during this Star Wars promotion, Tazo promotion, because I love Star Wars so much. And I wanted to complete this album. Not because I ever thought it would be, worth anything or anything like that, but it was a nice thing. I wanted it complete because it was Star Wars. And it was kind of different from stickers because it was solid pieces of plastic that you would stick in this album. But yeah, so I ate even more than I normally did, but it got to the point where I needed, I think, about 10. So 1/5 of the collection, which you wouldn't think would be that difficult. So maybe some were rarer than others. I honestly don't know. But I kept going and going and going and I couldn't get them. Then, and you could argue, and this is stupid, but I'm sure people have done pretty similar things, collection-wise and stuff like this. Maybe with other Tazo albums and stuff like that. Although this is the only one I can really remember that had a collection, an album to put them in. But the Beano, which I read anyway, even as a young adult, because I still read the Beano. Granted, I only read the Christmas edition every year, but it was a massive part of my childhood and the first comic I ever got myself. And I love it, the Beano, Dennis the Menace and stuff like that. And they started for 3 weeks in a row giving away just one Tazo on the front, in a bag. There's the key here, on the front, in a bag that you could see on the front of the Beano. So I used to go into supermarkets, literally drive to a supermarket and go, right, what do I need? I need the special Silver Trilogy Collector's Edition. So I just flip through every single Beano and go, nope, 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 nope. Drive to another supermarket. Did this for 3 weeks. Drive to another one and another one and go, oh, Sainsbury's. And then I would buy a copy of the Beano, which in 1997, on top of the one I got, mind, was about, I don't know, 30p, maybe 40p. It's like a couple of quid now. Jeez. Just for that Tazo. And then just stick we didn't even recycle then. Just throw the Beano out, because I obviously had the one that I would keep in my collection of Beanos, yeah, and then I would do it again and again. I waste pissing away so much money on petrol and buying these random issues of the Beano and the Dandy, which I didn't get. In hindsight, I should have just bought the Dandy, shouldn't I? It would have saved me one copy worth of money at least. And I pieced together these final 10 Tazos, which was quite difficult over the 3 weeks that the Beano and the Dandy. I can't remember of any other comics, because it would have been licensed to DC Thompson then, who made the Beano and the Dandy. Yeah, if any other ones had them on the front, but it was the Beano definitely and the Dandy, for sure. And I pissed away so much money driving around random, granted mostly supermarkets within rough vicinity of each other. I know that shoplifting went ripe on the front of these magazines, not the actual magazine, where people would just nick the Tazo because they would need it to complete their set. I didn't do that because shoplifting is wrong. And I don't like thieves. I've never liked thieves, didn't like thieves then, don't like thieves now. Random. But yeah, so shoplifting went mental. People just ripping it off. There were so many copies of the Beano and the Dandy in downtown newsagents with a big fucking hole in the front, because it was that was the annoying thing. It was taped on. Stupid, because it was like a newsprint. It wasn't glossy like it is now. But yeah, I wasted all that money driving around. But I pieced together the final I did, and I think my brother both my brothers had it, but they never completed it. And it's, do you know what? This is going in my, well, it's not going on display, but I'm keeping it where I know it is now. Because, yeah, I have so much nostalgia for this. Eating so many crisps, like I said, driving around, buying Beanos and Dandies. And 97 was the big deal, you know, because of these 3 movies being remastered. So 97 was a really good year because of stuff like this. And, you know, the movies coming out and these excellent promotions. Because crisps don't really do free shit anymore like they used to. Years they used to put stuff in the bags, or you would collect a number of bags, and then you would send them in and get a promotional device for stuff like that. I don't know if they even stick anything in the bag now. I mean, Walkers used to put Monopoly money, didn't they, in little plastic sachets in the bag, and then you would send it to them, and you would they would redeem it. And in fact, I think Walkers probably did this maybe 3 to 5 years ago, but they did it originally in the 90s. They would actually stick real money. Actually, it must have been a while ago because it would have been before the plastic notes. Used to stick real money, like folded up £10, folded up £5, folded up 20s, and even 50s into like those salt and shake sachets and stick them in the bags. But we get nothing now, and so things like this were a big deal then. And I just remember enjoying the process. You know, right? It got a bit, you know, obsessive towards the end, but yeah. Things like this, I mean, I was an adult still then, you know, by 22, if you could call that really an adult as such. Well, I guess you can't really call me an adult now. But things like that, I love. And I completely forgot this existed. And the minute I saw it, I just had massive nostalgia flashbacks to this, the greatest Tazo giveaway collection of them all for the greatest movie trilogy of all time. Anyway, I've waffled on, but I'd love to know what I think. Do you remember Star Wars Special Edition Tazos? Hell, do you remember Tazos? And if you do, what were they actually for? I'm pretty sure while you could make shapes out of them or construction, limited, that wasn't it. It was a game or such, not just to trade, but to play and win like top trump. So I could be completely wrong. Anyway, as always, I'd love to know what you think, especially if you can tell me, you know, the things I've just asked. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you later.